I came a few months to the United States. At the Maasai Mara, I have a community clinic. I'm a trained, qualified nurse, a rural practitioner. In Maasai Mara, they don't call me a nurse, they call me Dr. Jackson. I use a motorbike going to the villages. If I have somebody who is very sick, I use a motorbike. And sometimes back I used to use a donkey or walk to the villages. And I remember one time carrying a young adult on my back all the way to the clinic, several kilometers, and it was, it was not easy. So if I have an emergency or somebody that I can't handle in the clinic, because usually I try to do as much as I can to save that patient, because sometimes when I make a decision to refer a patient to the nearest hospital, which is 120 kilometers away, I don't know how many that in miles, there is no car, maybe the rivers are flooded, and I most of the time I end up losing that patient. So I try to do my level best to save that life, because we don't have ambulance, we don't have helicopter or anything. So I try to do as much as I can, because the clinic is very, very far, 6 to 8 hours on rough roads, and the tracks are reliable, all tracks. So it's a hard thing to do. And 5 years, we have already seen money from the tourists benefiting the local people, and involved in building of schools and roads, and a little bit of money for the health care.
Partnered with a computer company in Silicon Valley that is giving us computers, digital textbook computers for our children, all of them. But I think we have one more question about circumcision, because it's such a good subject.
Please, go ahead. Yeah.
It is a very gradual process to stop the circumcision, and that's why we need the education for the girls.
And I first want to say thank you so much for coming out and viewing all of our films. And basically, we shot the Maasai, and I like to see it as them being a microcosm for something that we're all facing. We're all at the crossroads, and we're all learning from one another. And as all of our films showed beautifully, that education is essential, and that we can all learn from one another.
I mean, fundamentally, all of us began to think about the differences between the way that we all grew up, and I'm sure all of you guys grew up, being outside most of the time. You would come home when it was dark, and that was our childhoods. And the difference between that and the childhoods that our own children are experiencing, even those of us who are very aware of these issues. I've got a 7-year-old and an 11-year-old, and their childhood growing up in this environment is very, very different than the one that I experienced, and I feel like we're really missing something, and so that was the inspiration.
Really teaching the interdependence and interrelatedness of nature, so that, as Jeff said, they get a sense of the impact that their daily actions make on the natural environment, and really get a sense of taking care of the earth for the future.
Increase understanding of what it means to be a perpetrator, and everybody's capacity to perpetrate and to be a victim, and ways that we can interrupt violence through these stories, and also make bullying socially unacceptable.